Hello, 8th graders. Your video for the next section is over section 4.1, which is understanding slope. And this is kind of a review from last year, some of the slope stuff we talked about. And then later on in the chapter, we're going to get into some of the tougher stuff. So just to start with, slope is the vertical change divided by the horizontal change. Another way to say it is rise over run, rise divided by run. So you always do vertical change up and down first. So there's different types of slope. If I had a line running like this, that would be positive slope. It's starting low at the left and going uphill to the right, that's positive. If it starts in the top left and goes downhill, that's negative. If it goes just sideways, that would be zero slope. And if it goes up and down like this, that is undefined. It's not possible. I have a slope that goes 100% straight up and down. Undefined, okay? Mathematically impossible to find. So then, for my example, if I want to find the slope of the line, I'm going to put it on this graph down here so that hopefully it'll show up a little better. So if I have a point at negative 3, 2, so negative 3, positive 2, and 2, 3, 2, 4, so 2, 2, 4. So there's my line. So if all they do is give you a graph like this and it has a line already on it, then they want you to find the slope. Remember that you always start at the left side of the graph, okay, and go to the right. So you can tell it's starting low and going high, so you know it's positive, okay, just by looking at that. So from this point here to this point is where I'm going. So again, to find slope, we do rise over run. So from the left point, how far am I rising? 1, 2. Remember, you're counting the spaces, not the lines. So from this point to this point going across, the run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is a positive 2/5. Okay, so then there are two other rules that go along with basic slope that we need to remember. The first one is that parallel lines have the same slope. So if I drew another line on this graph, so if I was going to draw another line in here at exactly the same slope as that last one, they would, it's parallel, right? That means it's running at exactly the same slope. The other rule is when you have perpendicular lines, you have slope that would be the opposite reciprocal of each other. What do I mean by that? So if I have a slope of 1/3 for one line, the other one would have to be a negative 3/1. Reciprocal means I flip it, and this one's positive, so the other one has to be negative. That's opposite reciprocals. And I could draw a couple lines up here, and we could look at it. So let's say I have this line right here, and, well, that's not going to work, is it? That's going to be undefined, right? Straight up and down is undefined. So if I was going to draw a line 90 degrees right here, so that this was a 90-degree angle, that'd be perpendicular, right? So if I wanted to, so I already know that the slope of this one is 2/5. So now if I go to find the slope of this one, it should be the opposite reciprocal of this one, which would be -5/2. Now, is it actually going to work? I don't know, because I drew it kind of crooked, right? I would have to make sure it was exactly 90 degrees to be able to tell, okay? But if that is perpendicular, this should be the slope for it, because it'd be the opposite of this and the reciprocal of it. So bring that knowledge with you, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Have a good night.